And you're welcome back again. Well, Martin and Tony have left us. Tomás Mulcahy and Cyril Farrell rejoin us here in the panel. Looking forward to this Munster hurling final between Cork and Clare. Throw-in coming up very shortly indeed. So let's go over straight away to Semple Stadium and join our match commentator there, Ger Canning.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. 53,000 people, not a ticket to be had. Everybody wants to see this showpiece of the season. And how about this for a tremendous welcome for these young Cork hurlers. 14 of them playing in the first ever Munster senior final. I'm not sure if that has ever happened since the first Cork ever team played in the All-Ireland final. 6 members of the team were given debuts in the semi-final against Waterford, and the selectors have opted for a no-change policy. Donald Cusack is in goal. It's under-21 star Diarmuid O'Sullivan at full-back, while the real inspiration at the back for Cork is Brian Corcoran. Mickey O'Connell and captain Mark Landers are based in midfield, while in the forwards, look out for Timmy McCarthy and Joe Dean, plus an improved showing from Shawnee McGrath. Well, what an atmosphere there is here. And wherever Clare go nowadays, there's a huge level of support. Hurling may be essentially an East Clare game, but followers everywhere have got totally behind this highly talented squad, led by the Pied Piper himself, Ger Loughnane. Well, after a most complete performance against Tipperary in the replay, Clare opted to only tinker at the edges and only make one significant alteration. It's a full-back line of 2 Bryans and 2 Lowens. The usual half-back section, wonderfully effective, as is the midfield of Lynch and Baker. Jamesy O'Connor is out with a broken arm, and Ronan O'Hara comes in for just his 3rd championship engagement, alongside Enda Flannery, also playing in his 3rd. Agus inis, out on the field. In the usual order there, with the national anthem played before the parade of the teams, and it really is a clash of the current masters of Munster hurling against the extremely young pretenders, heirs to a rich tradition. It's the 5th championship match of the 90s involving these counties, and Clare have a 100% record. They've won all 4. Last year at the semi-final stage, it was 21 points to 13. Cork, I suppose, coming closest in 95 when Clare got their measure by just a point that day. Jimmy Barry Murphy in charge since 1996. Well, of course, he thinks back to earlier clashes with Clare in the championship. 1988, for instance, was the last year of Cork's wins over Clare in the championship. 2 years previously, they met in Killarney. Jimmy Barry Murphy and Ger Loughnane played that day on opposite sides, of course, and Cork were rewarded with a victory. Clare's fans essentially at the Killarney end, but right over a half of the ground here. No tickets handed back from anywhere. Cork people wanted to see it. Clare fans, as ever, there to cheer on Anthony Daly from Clare Castle, their team captain. And it probably needs bearing in mind that Clare today play in a 6th Munster final in 7 years. No other county in the southern province can emulate that record. Of course, they're going for a 4th Munster title in the 90s. By comparison, Cork seek a first title in 7 years. They've also been absent from finals day since 1992. And only one player, Brian Corcoran, has a Munster Senior Winners' Medal. In comparison, Clare start this afternoon with 36 Munster Winners' Medals amassed by their starting formation. And that's quite a turnaround since Cork won the Munster and All-Ireland double back in 1990. The atmospheric conditions this afternoon? Well, first of all, it's breezy insofar as the ball will be sweeping across towards the new stand, you may see, because the wind is blowing across in that direction. It's quite a strong breeze at that. Seanie McGrath there, part of the Cork team this afternoon, and there you can see those flags there fluttering in the breeze. So many things to look out for this afternoon. So many people wanted to see this wonderful clash. And would just wonder about the Cork puckouts, for instance. Will McCormack drift right and left and take McMahon out of position? Will that be one of the tactics, possibly allowing the wing forwards in? Sean Halpine from Piercig there. A mention of half-backs. I wonder how Cork are going to try and break down that triangle of half-backs and Clare midfield, the best around. And how will Clare upset or attempt to upset the influence of Brian Corker in a centre half-back? Very much a huge influence for the Reds. Then there is, of course, that other talking point, the lightness of the Cork forwards. Joe Dean, Seanie McGrath, Ben O'Connor, Niall Ronan. The tall men there really represented by Timmy McCarthy and Fergal McCormack. And of course it's a Clare side with very much a rotating forward line. There's hardly been a full forward in the strict sense of that since Tommy Guilfoyle, I suppose, back in 1994. But hurling tactics, well, they're evolving the whole time as we take another little look at the two teams for this afternoon. Cork unchanged, but don't be surprised if there are switches. I'm anticipating that. Niall Ronan, for instance, could go out onto the half-forward line during Timmy McCarthy and Fergal McCormack. And it could be a full forward line, which shows Joe Dean once again switched around, as happened, of course, when they played against Waterford and clocked up so many points and enjoyed a very fine victory. And this is the Clare side for the afternoon. Just one change in that, and that is the number 25, Ronan O'Hara, coming in for PJ O'Connell, who was selected, but guess what? Didn't get to play. And now a minute's silence here for that awful tragedy in Dungarvan earlier in the week. 4 members of the Air Corps who perished in that desperate tragedy. And everybody here, I think, will stand in silence and offer their condolences.
Sergeant Paddy Mooney, Corporal Niall Byrne, Captain Michael Baker and Captain Dave O'Flaherty. We extend sympathy to the bereaved of Squeamead, Solas na Vlahas, Donamaka Namarad.
Is Dickie Murphy. It's Clare who won the toss and up to play from right to left in the first half. And straight away it's Colin Lynch into the action. Ronan O'Hara has gone into full back, but that's broken away by Diarmuid O'Sullivan there. Switches on both teams. Tell you about them as the match unfolds here. I've noticed Alan Markham gone to left, half forward for Clare. David Ford top of the right. Now Gilligan in there. And Brian Corcoran tries to get that ball away for Cork. This is Enda Flannery, such an impressive first season in Championship hurling. A Clare team without James O'Connor. How will that affect them as Liam Doyle, having a tremendous year, plants this one in. O'Hara's after it, and it's gone wide. Best chance so far in the opening half minute. O'Hara was in after this long delivery from Liam Doyle, and the goalkeeper was down there to deny him options. Well, that was a real possibility. Came off the legs of the goalkeeper, and in the follow-up it went wide. Here's Timmy McCarthy, as anticipated. They tried to take Sean McMahon out of position, allow McCarthy to come through with burst through the centre, but he stopped this time. Brian Quinn trying to get the ball away. Colin Lynch waiting for it. It's hand passed back there by Niall Ronan, operating in the half-forward line. Fergal McCormack on his knees. They try to get the ball away. It's frantic in the early stages, as you anticipate. Landers trying to get it in. Here's Mickey O'Connell, the man who got 8 points, and he is fouled by Ollie Baker. Well, Ollie looks at the referee, but Dickie Murphy unimpressed with his pleas. This was Mickey O'Connell, and not much of a challenge there. Mickey was diving down. A look of disbelief on Ollie's face. Joe Dean has the free, and Cork can take the lead here. Dean playing in his 6th championship match. Fires it over the bar. Dean, the full forward, in spite of the number 15 on his shirt, puts Cork in front. Joe Dean from Killer, that's the club of Mark Landers as well. Landers and O'Connell in midfield. Davy Fitzgerald with the puck out. Enda Flannery trying to make it his. O'Halpine going back. Flannery has it. Plays it in here beautifully. David Ford, 20 metres out, and that's going to be a free in. David Ford switching with Enda Flannery, and it's going to be a free in, and this is what happened just moments ago there, and David about to take it himself. David Ford in his 14th championship match puts it over the bar. You'd hardly expect him to miss for such a simple angle. It's all square here. Donald Og Cusack. He's had a couple of great years playing not just with his club Cloyne, but his division in O'Killy as well. This is dropped in here. And the shot has gone over the bar, and it's Mickey O'Connell. O'Connell from Middleton making a fine start. 4 attacks so far, 3 scores. 2 of them for Cork, and the latest from Mickey O'Connell. Well, here's a player who at one stage in the last 12 months was deemed surplus to requirements, but he fought his way back. Davy Fitzgerald from 6 Mile Bridge, today playing his 28th championship match. That was Mark Landers. Brian Corcoran towards Shawnee McGrath, being marked over there by Brian Quinn, who's gone across from right to left. McGrath has nobody to aim at. It's Anthony Daly instead. That's towards Niall Gilligan. Swept down there well by John Brown. Once again, it's Mickey O'Connell. Well, they'll really have to close him down. You saw his threat against Waterford. Cork trying to fight back. Trying to get the ball back there for Ben O'Connor. McMahon's close to him. Good vision to pick out a player coming through from midfield. And the wonderfully informed Mickey O'Connell is in a second. It's 3 points for Cork. Clare with just 1 so far. Well, what a start this is for Cork's number 9, playing in just his 2nd championship match. But where was the marking? Very much deemed absent. That's batted down there by O'Connell. Timmy McCarthy trying to get the better there of Alan Markham. Technically, Markham is operating at left half forward, but the early pressure is being exerted by Cork. Well, the 2 linesmen this afternoon are 2 very experienced officials at this particular level. Pat Owen from Offaly and Pat Ahern from Carlow. Ahern on this near side. So in front of 53,000 hurling lovers, it's O'Connell who takes the sideline ball. Inside there towards Fergal McCormack. McCormack hitting it, mishitting it somewhat, and it ends up going wide. There are a number of players chasing in after that one. Ben O'Connor was one of them. Dean was around as well. Fergal McCormack, who of course is a nephew of the great Kerry footballer Mick O'Connell. Well, already Ger Loughnane is pacing up and down the sideline here, I think concerned about a number of things that haven't gone quite right so far. Enda Flannery can't contain that one. This is Colin Lynch, did well to retain balance, retains control as well. Flannery, almost blocked there by Sean O'Halpine. Ronan O'Hara going back to challenge John Brown. O'Hara has broken his stick. That's Sean McMahon there. McCormack challenging. Back it comes once again. Here's Neil Ronan. Ronan from Ballyhay. Markham was chasing after him, but he couldn't catch him, and in any case the ball has gone wide. That's 2 wides now for Cork, but a lot of concern, I think, for Ger Loughnane. He's been saying that, well, he's been quoted at least as saying that if we don't win the Munster final, we're unlikely to win the All-Ireland. Both sides really want to win this. Clare to become the first Clare team ever to win 3 in a row in Munster. Cork to regain mastery in the province and win a first title since '92. So the incentive is enormous. Diarmuid O'Sullivan is coming out, but he was fouled. Ronan O'Hara then in at full forward. He's a Garda based in Douglas nowadays, in County Cork, of course. And Douglas is also the club of Ronan McCarthy, the Cork footballer. Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne. The village of Christy Ring. Jodine, nicely ahead here towards Ben O'Connor. O'Connor being challenged by Brian Lohan. Lohan looked ill at ease against Paul Shelley in the first match. This one has gone well to the right. Down at the town end there of Central Stadium. That's where all the Cork fans are massed. And our reporter here with some information for us down at the sideline once again. It's Kieran Mullooly.
Very interesting role by Fergal McCormack, Ger. He's on the left half forward, or centre half forward on the Cork team, but he's going almost like James O'Connor, across and back the 40-yard line. A very interesting tactic by Cork.
Well, I think that's to get Sean McMahon out of position. But it's a very astute move as we watch David Ford challenge to where he's going to be hooped by Brian Corcoran. Corcoran wins it back. Then was held. Well, that was lovely play by Brian Corcoran. He never panicked at any stage. You'd have favoured David Ford in this situation. But look at Corcoran, just used his stick work. Very clever, very calm, very assured. Free to be taken by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, captain last year. Mickey O'Connell lets that one bounce off his leg, and it comes to Colin Lynch. Usually the man who inspires this Clare team. Oh, Donald Cusack hesitated, and Ronan O'Hara has put it over the bar. And he might have got a goal there. And he will be well aware of that. It's his first point, and it's 3 points to 2. But just a little bit of indecision by the Cork goalkeeper. They left it there for O'Hara, and the net was gaping. Well, the goal was there for the taking. This is a strongly built lad, and he's in there with a specific purpose to try and deny Diarmuid O'Sullivan. That's taken by Mark Landers. Ollie Baker's after him. Alan Markham is after him as well. In the end, there are too many steps taken. So the free goes against Mark Landers. And Ollie Baker has a little graze on the knee, I think, and Colin Flynn, the physio, is out to attend to him. It's the calf, in fact, that's causing the problem. One of the 3 players, current All-Stars, members of the St. Joseph's Stewart Bearfield team, and this is another one of them, Sean McMahon. That's a huge one from McMahon, and that's gone over the bar. It's a great free by Sean McMahon, and the match level. Second time they've been level in the game. Well, people questioned about the freshness of players like Sean McMahon and, of course, Ollie Baker as well, having won the club championship back on St. Patrick's Day, defeating Rathnure. Now they're looking for another title, the Munster title. That was Colin Lynch going across to deny Mickey O'Connell, who made a good start, but O'Connell, I'm sure, will find that Lynch will be breathing down his neck time and again. And there was some holding there by Enda Flannery, dragging back Sean O'Halpine. This was where Flannery was holding his arm. No question about the referee's decision. Brian Corcoran. Dropped in towards Joe Dean. They're all pulling on it there. Neil Ronan was inside. So too is Brian Lohan. Looking for a good start to this match to boost his confidence. They wait for Daly. Swinging on it nicely. One back here again by O'Connell. Steadying himself. And that's gone wide. 4 wides now for Cork. Mickey O'Connell, who got the 2 points earlier on in this match. You'll always know Mickey because the collar is always raised up around his neck. But again, there was nobody getting tight enough. Colin Lynch was arriving late. It was just down to poor shooting that Cork didn't get another point. Mark Landers down towards Fergal McCormack. McMahon. That's forward by Anthony Daly towards Ronan O'Hara. Again, they try to get a scoring chance here, but they're denied. And that's away by Wayne Sherlock. Sean McMahon. And this time, plenty of opportunities for the goalkeeper, Donald O'Cusick, to see it and to make his mind up on where he's going to deliver his puck. Landers leaves it there for Timmy McCarthy. Likes to run with the ball on his stick. This time, he lobs it in towards Joe Dean. Dean in there, and who got the last touch? It was Brian Lohan, and it's gone for a 65. Just getting a little hot in there. Well, one hurling fan who's watching this and looking forward to a good game is Dick Tubridy from Newtown in the nursing home in Blackrock, and all his relations in Tulla send their best wishes. Davy Fitzgerald, scorer of that memorable penalty goal here in the Munster final in '95, and of course more recently in that game against Tipperary. Again, they're attending to Ollie Baker, so there's obviously a concern about the left leg. They're working hard on it as Mickey O'Connell takes the 65 and drives it over the bar, adding to his impressive tally. Just 1 1/4 games gone in Munster Championship for Mickey in his career, and he's got 11 points so far. Excellent shooting for a midfield player. Enda Flannery having difficulty keeping it away from Sean O'Halpine. Colin Lynch trying to get forward. Still Lynch. Baker going in. Left there in the end. Swung across here towards Barry Murphy. Hasn't seen too much of the action so far, Barry Murphy. They won't see it here because his man Fergal Ryan has got it. Barry, incidentally, was at secondary school down in St. Coleman's at Fermoy, along with a whole lot of other players like Timmy McCarthy. This is Wayne Sherlock. Towards Joe Dean. Still operating at full forward, trying to get across there. But that's great reading by his brother Frank. Frank Lohan covering for Brian. But only out as far as Timmy McCarthy, and that has gone towards the left and harmlessly wide. Some wild shooting now from time to time, but a lot of scoring chances being created by Cork. That's Timmy McCarthy from Castle Lyons, a very mild-mannered fellow. Scored 3 points in the match against Waterford. Pressure on the Cork half back line. Wayne Sherlock, good ground hurling. Anthony Daly seizing on it quickly for Colin Lynch. Hard knocked down there by Brian Corcoran. Corcoran had started well, and look, he takes it back up again. A real colossus in the Cork colours. Brian Lohan, arguably the full-back of the 90s. That's towards Barry Murphy. It runs on towards David Ford. Brian Corcoran's coming across. They step inside there, and it's still David Ford stumbling, and he still managed to get a shot in, and he's put it over the bar. A second point for David Ford, and they're level once again. Clare 4, Cork 4, and that was all down to the really hard work and excellent balance here of David Ford as he skipped by Fergal Ryan and took his point. He really looked assured. He's a real tigerish corner forward or wing forward. As they say in Clare, he's a great bit of stuff. That is in beyond Fergal McCormack. Timmy McCarthy has it. Liam Doyle chasing after him. And with Frank Lohan came across. What a challenge. Now, what's the referee decide here? This was Timmy McCarthy. There was Frank Lohan going across. And it's a sideline ball. Excellent work by Frank Lohan. He's playing at right corner back in a switch with Brian Quinn. An exciting start to the match. Mickey O'Connell about to take this. Dropped in towards Dean. Getting there ahead of Liam Doyle. Looked like a trip there. Referee says play on. They tried to get that ball away. Up towards Enda Flannery. Challenged by Sean O'Halpine. So far, very little happening for the Clare half-forward line. And that's because of the really good work of Corcoran and O'Halpine in particular. Flannery, look at O'Halpine smothering his opponent almost. Frank Lowen with spectators on the far side, some of them wishing him well, some not so. Well, he's had a marvellous start. That's Brian Corcoran, that's brilliantly taken down. They'll really have to get somebody to close Brian Corcoran because his influence is immense so far. Here's Joe Dean. Players running right and left of him. Brian Lowen still after him, and he beats Brian Lowen this time, but the presence of the big man, I think, just put Joe Dean off. Just 1 point so far in the match, that coming from a free. That I think was the first point of the match which Dean scored, but this latest opportunity wasn't easy, and credit there to Brian Lowen. Midway through the first half, Daly with Baker here. Brian Corcoran's chasing after him, but it's still Ollie Baker. This would be a fine score if he can make it, but he's just put it wide. Not a great deal in that, just 2 wides for Clare. Again, he's looking across towards the sideline there, and let's hope there isn't any great cause for concern about that calf injury. This was all about Baker. Brian Corcoran went back, couldn't get quite close enough to him, but the chance was spurned. This time the referee has shown his concern about an injury to Brian Corcoran here, still in this reprise, just limping away from that action. He's still limping, Brian Corcoran. Donald O'Cusack, the man who replaced Ger Cunningham. Ger played 49 championship matches for Cork. That's a nice pick up by Timmy McCarthy. Again, he likes to run at it. There are players around him ready to relieve him of possession. And one of them here is Shawnee McGrath, replaced in the match against Waterford. He wants a good start, and that's a fine shot, and it's over the bar. Shawnee McGrath from Glen Rovers, his first point, and Cork go in front by 5 points to 4. Well, he's always been a wonderful talent, hasn't always been able to show the consistency, however. David Fitzgerald's puck out, and this time it's Ollie Baker who's left virtually unmarked. Cork a little late to close him down, but close him down they do. And that's Neil Ronan, only straight as far as Liam Doyle. Doyle knocking this in towards Ronan O'Hara, had a goal chance earlier on. Here's a point opportunity. And Barry Murphy's racing in after it, and good catch there by Donald O'Cusack. And a good clearance by Cusack. Out it comes here to Mark Landers. Gets it at the second attempt. And he's dragged down then by Alan Markham. Alan Markham looks a bit disgruntled as he goes away from there, but that was all a credit to the goalkeeper who managed to spot Mark Landers free, at least momentarily free. So Mickey O'Connell, no particular hurry. And Alan Markham has done a little switch there. In the last couple of minutes, Niall Gilligan's come out into the half line as O'Connell strikes this one, but he strikes it left. So another costly wide. It could be at least. That's 7 now in all for the team in red. David Fitzgerald's puck out, in over Brian Corcoran this time, but O'Halpine was anticipating, went across to cover for him. And this is the wing back, Wayne Sherlock. Shawnee McGrath appreciating he was very near the sideline. He'll feel his luck just wasn't in there, because good appreciation of his own positioning. And Pat Ahern, the linesman, I think got it right there. It was a good decision. Anthony Daly from Clare Castle. Nice strike. And again, it's Brian Corcoran, the Erin's own man. They chase after him. It's David Ford who's on at this stage. That's beyond Frank Lowen. Brian Lowen, quick adjustment of his footing there. First touch not great, but second time of asking, he's away with it. The playing surface here is absolutely first-rate. Best hurling field in Ireland without a shadow of a doubt. Wayne Sherlock. And Sherlock goes down injured as he plays that ball away. Daly, Clare get it back. Ollie Baker is 65 metres out, and he's put it well to the right. And there will be attention required for Wayne Sherlock. It'll be a puck out for Cork. And the referee is going in to check with his umpires. And Markham, I think, just made contact with him. He's a little bit fired up at the moment, Alan Markham. Markham from Kilmaley. May have just connected with him, and over went Sherlock. That's not a great deal in it. As we go down to the sideline once again to Kieran Malooly.
I think you summed it up pretty well, Gerard. No doubt about it, that Wayne Sherlock certainly was struck by Alan Markham. Little late, and then there was an altercation between Markham and one of the other Cork defenders, John Brown, the number 4.
Well, the referee has gone into his umpires. They had a good view of it, and he has booked Alan Markham. So it's a yellow card issued by Dickie Murphy. This time it's lobbed from the puck out there towards Neil Ronan, but this time it's won by Liam Doyle. Switch of direction across towards Barry Murphy, now playing at top of the right. Fergal Ryan's gone across to cover with him, by the way. That's a lovely turn by Ben O'Connor. Young player. Got a couple of run-outs in the league. This is his first championship season in towards Joe Dean. And Dean is pushed, the referee says. A look of injured innocence on the face of Brian Lowen. That's Sean O'Leary, who is one of the selectors' backroom men there, Dr. Con Murphy, and of course Jimmy Barry Murphy as well. And they've brought this young man from Newton Chandram, Ben O'Connor, into their side. Frank Lowen was racing after him here. The referee says there was unfair contact, so it's Joe Dean who has this 20-metre free, and he makes no mistake. A second point then for Joe Dean, both of them coming from frees, and it's 6 points to 4 and 12 minutes to go to half-time. Joe with a little facial injury there that may require a stitch before the start of the second half, as we'll have some more news from the sideline in just a moment. But first of all, it's Brian Corcoran back down towards Ben O'Connor, stopped here by Frank Lowen. Fast and furious, as you anticipate in the Munster final, the Guinness Munster Hurling Championship. Both sides, of course, going through to the next phase, but nobody worries about that. Victory is imperative at this stage. Enda Flannery trying to get that ball forward. Now Gilligan's over there as well, and the referee may throw the ball in, so time now to go down to Kieran Malooly.
Brian Corcoran's dominance certainly caused him problems, Gerard. Ger Loughnane has now moved Niall Gilligan to the 40 to Markham.
Yes, interesting that they should have brought the big tall man Gilligan onto the 40 just to try and deny Brian Corcoran. So Sean O'Halpine contesting this one with Enda Flannery. Runs on here towards Barry Murphy. And Barry Murphy made enough of an angle but couldn't quite direct it on. He looks a little more than a little disappointed. Greatly disappointed. So this is where he went out into the wing there towards Barry Murphy. Barry from Scarrett. Made a big name for himself at club level in Clare a couple of years ago when Scarrett reached the county final. That's tapped back out there by Sean McManus, if anything, operating across towards a right half-back position, still following Fergal McCormack. The tactics by Cork, very simply, get Sean McMahon out of the centre whenever possible. That's Mickey O'Connell, and Enda Flannery was tumbling over him. Foul committed on Mickey, however, just before that. This free is just inside the 65-metre line. Well, he catches it well. Now, where does it end up? It ends up floating between the posts. Another point for Mickey O'Connell. Is he going to replicate his semi-final performance? He's now got 4 points in this match. 2 from play, 1 from a 65, and 1 from another free here. This is the latest, and Cork lead by 3. It's 7 points to 4. Clare trying to discover that kind of marvellous mastery that they showed in the replay against Tipperary. It's been a little absent from time to time in this match. In fact, a good deal of the time. We were wondering which of the two Clare teams we might see this afternoon. The Clare that drew with Tip only just when they really should have lost that day, or the team that absolutely overwhelmed Tipperary in the replay. So far it's the former. Here's McGrath. And what's he got? He's got a wide. That's what he's got. Angle not the greatest for Seanie McGrath. Seanie operating at top of the right, Joe Dean full forward. And even as we speak, Cork thinking about freshening up their forward line. It's an opportunity once again to look at this latest chance falling to Seanie McGrath. Seanie, an All-Star nominee a few years ago. Ger Loughnane, I'm sure, will be hoping that his side can edge closer just before half-time. Now Gilligan on Brian Corcoran. And that seemed to be Alan Markham who was tripped. The chance comes off the post, and it's now Gilligan who gets it. His first point, and it's now 7 points to 5. Niall won an All-Ireland club medal a couple of years ago in the colours of 6 Mile Bridge. Clare, of course, have been so dominant at club level, and this is where Gilligan profited as Markham went to ground. Touchdown there by Colin Lynch. Well, there was a one-handed attempted pass there by Mickey O'Connell, which didn't quite come off. He needed Wayne Sherlock to come in, but it falls to David Ford, looking for a man who was loose, and Colin Lynch was. He just couldn't quite reach him. Now it's Ollie Baker for the Munster champions. For the team that many people felt might well have won last year's All-Ireland, but didn't do so. So Colin Lynch in no particular hurry. Man of the match against Tipperary. 4 points, 4 attempts on goal as well. A couple of contrasting seasons for Colin. This is a good ball in. Goals down from Diarmuid O'Sullivan's hand. Out once again towards Ben O'Connor. Towards Neil Ronan. Opening up his shoulders, and that's a huge one. Neil Ronan. Well, Mickey O'Connell may have got 4 points, but now 3 of the players in the forwards have got on the sheet. And Neil Ronan is the latest. Wearing number 14, playing left half forward. The puck out is batted down by Wayne Sherlock. Quick adjustment of positioning here by Mark Landers, the East Cork man. Down towards Seanie McGrath, taken one-handed away, and swept away one-handed as well by Daly. Towards Colin Lynch, hand pass back. Liam Doyle into space, nobody waiting for it there except Mark Landers. Now Anthony Daly, quick look over his shoulder to see where Timmy McCarthy was. In towards O'Hara, broken down towards Barry Murphy, couldn't hit it instinctively. And the Clare forwards just trying to get an opening, but instead it's Diarmuid O'Sullivan. The under-21 player played against Limerick just about 10 days ago. Neil Ronan, intended for Mickey O'Connell, taken instead by Sean McMahon. The pass into space, beyond Sherlock, beyond Markham. Stopped there by John Brown, blocked down by Markham. Did he touch it on the ground? And the crowd are certainly of the view that he did, but it comes back to him and he's put it over the bar. Alan Markham may have been booked in this match already. Maybe a little fortunate there, but he gets his first point, and it's 8 points to 6. Alan Markham, of course, is a cousin of Sean McMahon, who was involved in starting all of that. Now, the ball was on the ground there, and as it came back up, there's a Cork view down here among their fans, it seems, that he may have touched it on the ground. Referee not interested. Brian Quinn, lovely player, very tidy and efficient. A block down there by Neil Ronan. Back to Quinn once again. A real big-hearted player. Up towards Markham. It breaks away off the stick of John Brown. Out towards Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine has been a DCU student. Gets away here momentarily from Colin Lynch, but Lynch is a very dogged performer, and he'll stick to the task there alongside Enda Flannery. The youngster Enda Flannery there, beating the other number 11, Fergal McCormack. In towards Ronan. This time it's taken, however, by Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Beyond Sonaga Halpine. Enda Flannery has the chance here. Inside low, beyond Ford. In towards Alan Markham, and the referee noted the foul there by John Brown. Free in to Clare. So now there should just be a point between the teams after this. 3.5 minutes go to half time, and that's where John Brown is deemed to have committed a foul on Alan Markham. Well, the player who will take it is going to be David Ford. And he's just got his 3rd point of the first half. 2 of them have come from frees. And it's now Cork 8, Clare 7. So now can either side take something of a decent lead into the dressing rooms at half-time? Jimmy Barry there, looking on. Having put his trust and his faith in a very young team. As I say, 14 of them playing in a first Munster final. That's Fergal McCormack. McGrath got back, and it's Dean! Minutes are gone, but the question now that Clare will ask is, where was Joe Dean as that ball came back in from Shawnee McGrath? It was a real speculative one. Little seemed on. Fergal McCormack walloped it, and this is where it ended up with Dean inside there, and they'll protest about that. Well, Shawnee McGrath did really well, and Dean was in there, but the ball was coming back towards him. So now a body blow to Clare. This is Fergal Ryan. McGrath. Well, how did he keep that ball in play? I'm sure people are going to say, was the ball actually going wide at the time he played it over? Here's Ben O'Connor. Sean McMahon questioning the referee's call here. But this was the goal again. Now watch for Shawnee McGrath. Was he still in the field of play? And what about Dean's positioning? Lots of smiles there up on the town end where the Cork followers have been fortunate enough to get those priceless tickets to come here to the Munster final. The champions are being led. Mickey O'Connell with this latest free. And Mickey O'Connell has put it over the bar for his 5th point of the first half. 1-9 for Cork, 7 points for Clare, but the champions aren't champions for nothing. Well, let's go down for some more news now to Kieran Mullooly.
And it's more bad news, but here Ollie Baker's been down again, Ger. He looks that left leg is looking very bad, and he may be leaving us at half-time.
Oh, that would be a huge loss for Clare. Possibly Enda Flannery might go to midfield if that were to transpire, as Alan Markham lobs it in here. They're all after it. And it comes out in the end to Mark Landers, is taking up a lot of very deep positions, playing sometimes just in front of his own half-back line, sometimes behind them. Here's McCormack, chasing after it was Sean McMahon. He loses it, beautifully tipped away. Comes to Shawnee McGrath, and McGrath, simple as you like, puts it over the bar. A 2nd point for Shawnee McGrath, and Cork have had a very good first half, and they now have a 6-point lead. But the second half still to be played here, but there are some worrying signs for the champions. McMahon here was beaten for pace, but they managed to get it away in the end before Fergal McCormack had a shot. Cork have created 19 chances, Clare have created 13 chances, but the significance of it all is that Cork have 11 scores, Clare 7, and the Munster champions are going to have a lot to do to hold on to their title in Semple Stadium. Many important decisions will have to be made. Joe Dean's goal came after 32 minutes. And at half-time in Semple Stadium in Thurles, it's Cork 110, Clare 7 points. And let's go back to the studio and Michael.
Yes, well, definitely Cork in the ascendancy in that first half, but of course they will be very mindful of what happened in the game between Tip and Clare earlier on in the summer. Now, news from Tuam and that replay between the All-Ireland football champions Galway and Sligo. The final result in Tuam was Galway 117, Sligo 7 points. OK, we take a break at this point. We're back after that with the panel's analysis of what they've seen in that first half from Thurles. Very well so far. I'm sure Tomás McCahey will be pleased with what he's seen so far.
Yes, very good first half, I thought. They're certainly taking the game to Clare, and the half hour in particularly are beginning to get on top of the Clare half back line and actually turning them and running towards goal, which puts undue pressure on their half back line. And in midfield, Mark Landers has played very, very well. Mickey O'Connell himself has played very well, and they got off to a terrific start. And Mickey O'Connell typifies what he did so well the last day, is running onto breaking ball. Key position midfield. Sometimes you see players running up and down the field like headless chickens. Mickey holds his position very, very well, watches for the breaking ball, and that's a great start for him. He's picked up where he left off the last day, as I said, and there were great bonus points for Cork in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I should have picked up on the statistics there, by the way, which came up briefly on the screen. Perhaps we might take a look at those again. I should have gone to them before I spoke to Tomás. And here are the statistics. The first one up that you will see will be the score, and as I said, that certainly shows that Cork have the advantage at half-time, leading by 110 to Clare's 7 points. 8 frees for Cork in that first half against Clare's 3. 8 wides for Cork, mind you, as well. They certainly had the better of the play, but also the better of the wides, if you like. 165, and that 1 yellow card in the game so far against Alan Markham, the Clare corner forward. Cyril, we saw very little of a couple of the Cork stars in the first half. We'd say like Joe Dean and Sean McGrath, but they proved that when they got a chance at all, the speed they could get in there.
Yeah, Sean McGrath wouldn't have a great game the last against Waterford. He's a fantastic or a lovely first touch. Now straight away Jim Barry has a moved in corner forward, and like he did it last year against Clare from there, and again you're going to see here any little chance he gets, like the wrist, you know, he's very, very accurate. Has a little, you know, you feel safe putting 100 pound on him here. Just says look up, flick, beautiful shot over the bar. Like on any chance, any unbroken play, he's going to do that the whole time. He's capable of, you know, like skinning fellas really, even though he's playing very deep as such. But he's having, all the Cork forwards are capable of doing that. They have it done, let's say, minor runs, and they're very, very risky. And at the moment, they are on top.
Well, the goal the Cork got just before half-time, certainly on the scoreline, it sort of gave some indication of the dominance they had. But was the goal legal, Tomás, I wonder?
Well, I suppose when you look at it again, there's probably question marks about Joe Dean, whether he's in the square. But like, as Barrow McCormick turns around, everybody thinks the ball is going wide, but give credit to Shawnee McGrath, doesn't let it go and knocks it back across the square. It looked as if Joe is in the position of the square at the time, but as we see Shawnee McGrath knocking the ball back, Joe doesn't come into the picture until very, very late. And again, you see it here coming in. Now you see him in the square, but from when Shawnee connected with the ball first day, he seemed to be running back into the square at that stage. If it was to be a square ball, you have 2 umpires again, right on position, that must make a decision like that. But it justified Cork's performance in the first half. They needed to put more scores on the board because they had a fair few wides, and Clare kept battling away, and there was only 2 points in it at that stage, but the goal has put a bit of light between the teams. OK, all right, now just another reminder about the game on Monday tomorrow evening in Pat Spillane's Monday feedback slot. Now, your views are welcome on the following numbers: 1850 200 620. That's the number to ring. And by the way, if you're calling from Northern Ireland, it's 0845 309 8117. Now, those phone lines will be open at 7 o'clock this evening, and they will remain open until 11 o'clock tonight. Also, that email number, that, by the way, that you can contact them there at. Now, back after this commercial break with more about this Munster hurling final. For the teams to come back out onto the pitch at Thurles, it's an opportunity for us to have another look at that Cork goal. I'm sure Cork fans won't have any trouble looking at this. 2 issues out of this, Cyril Farrell. One was the ball wide, and secondly, was he in the square?
Well, Sean McGrath did what any good corner forward you do, Michael. Like, he kept going and playing the ball, and you'll see here even in slow motion that the ball was not wide. He gets a one-handed flick to it. It's an art in itself. And Shawnee's already picked 2 points from play. So like, he'll be very happy with the first half. He gets a flick to it back across. Now, as you look across the back of the picture, Joe Dean is already running in anticipation that the ball will come back. Now, by the time he has started from outside, he's just on the square there. By the time it comes back, he's probably in it. But he has started from way behind it. Here, the flick going back here actually goes across the square again. And here, Joe Dean wind up in front of, you know, going inside the full back and in front of the goalie. A good goal. Now, of course, it will be the baseball, but yet the 2 umpires are there. You know, it's kind of 50-50. So just look at it again. He gets the flick to it all right, one-handed. No problem.
He's definitely in the square, though.
He's definitely in the square there now, inside it. But you know, it's kind of 50-50 call. But even though probably the Clare backs will be kind of giving out to themselves there, the 6 points at half-time does justice to Cork because they're well on top in the first half, and Clare, it's going to take a big effort from Clare to come back under, because the Cork half-back line of, okay, expected Brian Cochran centre back, but Wayne Sherlock are now helping completely on top. Landers is going deep, helping out the defence, and Mickey O'Connell is holding in the middle. That 5 are on top, and they're like, you know, while they're on top, Cork forwards are always going to pick enough scores like to keep them in front.
OK, Clare are back out on the pitch, Tomás. Can Cork do it? Can they hold on?
Certainly so, I hope so. They've rattled Clare, I think, you know, and tactically maybe Clare got it wrong in that first half with a few of the switches they've made, bringing in the Flannery out to half forward, where he's played very well midfield and centre forward. So they've got to change their tactics in the second half there to win this game.
Certainly Cork have matched Clare in that first half, and their intensity for the game and their hunger for the game. You talked about the high-octane performance of Clare before the match, but surely Cork gave that as well.
Yeah, and I would think this Munster final means more to Cork than to anyone. I know Clare want to win it, and even say going into the Leinster final after Kilkenny, it means more to Cork. They've been out for so long. The hype is, you know, is unbelievable, and like even the young people going to is unbelievable. They're a young side, like, and if they can keep that concentration on the ball and keep tapping over the few points, there's no reason why they shouldn't win. Now Clare aren't champions for being, you know, for being slouches. They're going to tear into the second half, but they'll have to change up front.
All right, will they change up front? What can they do about this? We're going to find out in the next 35 minutes. Let's go back again to Ger.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. Now, there has been a change made by Clare at the start of the second half. At first I thought it was Enda Flannery who had been taken off, but it's not. Enda Flannery has gone back into the right corner back position, and I've noticed that Danny Scanlon has come in. Danny from Clare Castle. He's now left half forward. It's still Baker and Lynch in midfield. No chance yet to have a look at the Cork team. I don't think there are any changes there. It's as you were at the end of the first 35 minutes. So 110 to 7 points. The wind blowing across the field, not really favouring any team. And straight away it's Frank Lowen thundering downfield with this. They're chasing after him. To Colin Lynch, not an easy ball to take. That's towards Danny Baker. Or Danny Scanlon, I should say. Danny Scanlon trying to get the better there of Wayne Sherlock with a very good first half. This is Niall Gilligan. Wanted to give Clare the best possible start to the second half, and he's done exactly that. It's a great point, real rallying score by Niall Gilligan. His second point of the match. Remember now he's on Brian Corcoran. He's had 2 shots at goal, and he has converted both. That's a better start now for Ger Loughnane's team. 110 to 8 points. First of the